Well, what's up, guys? Got a bit of an unboxing and review on a Allen Bible. This is the Allen ESV New Classic Reader's Edition in black highland goatskin. Let's go ahead and pop it open. So typical with your Allen Bibles, you do have a two-piece box, and typically the Bible will come wrapped in some paper. I took that off already. And there we have the Bible. So with this Bible, this is a black highland goatskin. To be honest, this is my first highland goatskin Bible that I've ever owned. I am blown away by it, to be honest with you. And I'm also kind of blown away that I do not have a highland goatskin Bible already. I thought I did, but this is completely different. The grain on this is just immaculate, to be honest with you. It's very soft. Probably one of the softest goatskins I've had. You can see a lot of scarring on the Bible. The spine has 5 tooled hubs. Holy Bible, English Standard Version, Allen. And again, the back has that beautiful grain to it, that beautiful deep grain with the scarring. I love the look of this. You do get 3 Beresford navy blue ribbons. They're pretty long with this Bible. And then opening it up, you've got your inner blue, I believe, calfskin liner and end sheet. Now this end sheet has a bit of a texture on it, and it is edge lined, so that's going to hold up pretty well. This is pleated corners. The gilting, the gold gilting around the edge doesn't really match the corners on this Bible, but that's not a huge deal for me. The cover is very soft, very smooth. And then going to the back, you have that same end sheet. This is Allen binding by Charfleet Book Bindery. So this edition they have had some issues with, not specifically this exact edition, but just Charfleet in general. Charfleet has not... from some of the videos I've watched, they have not produced a high-quality product a lot of the time. There's always typically issues. But these Allen Bibles are handcrafted one by another. They're not made by machines, and so they're going to have some imperfections in them, and that kind of makes it more special, because no Allen Bible is the same. So opening it up, you've got your blank pages leading up to your introduction page. It's got that typical Allen presentation pages, marriages, deaths, grandchildren, so on and so forth. You've got Holy Bible. There is no separation between this thicker cardstock and the Holy Bible, so that's good. Going forward, you have got your textual notes. And one thing I love about this Bible is, in most Bibles of the sort, they have a layout, a preface of how to use the features to the fullest extent that you can. Going forward, you've got the Old Testament, which opens up to Genesis. Now, one thing I love about this format, and similar to the ESV one, is that this it's got the introduction to each book of the Bible. It's got a 2-column format, paragraph format, 2-column text, with your center suite for references and footnotes at the bottom. Now this is how it's laid out throughout the entire Bible. It is on 36 GSM paper. And the paper is actually, this text block is actually printed in the Netherlands by Youngblood. Now the ESV one, same text block, is printed in China. But they are both on 36 GSM paper. One thing I can tell you is that this paper seems to be a bit smoother than the ESV one and the text block printed in China. Now, I love the thickness of this paper, and the ESV one, I am not complaining about the paper at all. This just seems to have a little bit more smoothness to it. Now, this is a black letter text. Unlike the ESV one, this is black letter. I kind of don't like that. The purpose of this Bible is to kind of mirror the ESV one and just to have a bigger print of it. The type size on this Bible is 10 versus the ESV, which I believe is like a 9. maybe an 8.5 or 9. So this is a bit bigger typesetting. And then on the margins here, you do have a bit more space. I wouldn't call it a full inch. It might be a full inch, but it's definitely at least 3/4 of an inch on the outer margins. The bottom, you don't really have much, and the gutter, you don't have much either. And then in this Bible, as per all Allen Bibles, you have a strong concordance. I love a good concordance in the Bible. And then, something that you typically don't have in the ESV ones, at least in the newer conditions or editions, is illustrations and maps. Now, you're gonna have the typical crossway illustrations: the tabernacle and court, tabernacle tent, Jerusalem in the time of David, Solomon's temple, Jerusalem in Hezekiah's time, and so on and so forth. It just shows a lot. There's a synagogue. I like the illustrations more than I like the maps, but this Bible does have maps as well, which the ESV one does not. What the ESV one does have to parallel this Bible is lined paper in the back, and this is on the same thickness of paper as the maps, and there's about 32 pages of lined paper in this Bible. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab the ESV one and do some comparisons. One thing I want to point out, though, is that I don't think you can pick it up, but there's some staining on the gilting, on the art gilt of the Bible. Also, see if I can find a good page. There's a little bit of bleeding on the pages. It's more prevalent in some other areas, like right there. It's not too much to where I'm gonna throw a fit about it at all. I don't notice those things too much, and plus, this would be a Bible that I would mark up in pretty often. So I don't really, as long as there's not splotches spanning across the whole page, I don't mind too much. So what I have before me is the Allen ESV one, and again the Allen New Classic Reader's Edition in black highland goatskin. And what I want to do at the later portion of this video is just to kind of compare these, because I mentioned that they have the same layout in the text block. But first I want to compare sizes. So here's the Allen ESV 1 in mid-brown goatskin. And you can tell it's a little bit shorter and a little bit, there's a little bit more width to the New Classic Readers. Now going on top of one another, you can see that difference right there. There's about 1.5 inches in width and about 1.5 inches in length of these Bibles. Same ribbons, so on and so forth. Now this isn't a natural grain goatskin, and of course this isn't that highland grain goatskin. Now what I love about these Bibles, let's go ahead and turn to Psalm 105 in both of them, is they've got the same pagination. And what that means is the text block matches one another. So here we are on page 605, Psalm 105. And there we are in the reader, Psalm 105 on page 605. So they are the same text block, same pagination, same cross references, and so on and so forth. The difference is the size of the Bible. Now this Bible is more of a handheld Bible. I'm an adult-sized male, and this would be a great Bible that I typically use for ministry trips, prayer meetings, teaching, so on and so forth. This Bible right here, of course, is bigger, so I typically wouldn't carry something necessarily this big with me on the go. Now, it's not too big to where I can't. It's just they make a smaller version of that same Bible, and so I love that. And again, just showing you the beauty. Let's go to Joel. Oh, look at that. Just opened up. Joel 2, 9:20. Joel 2, 9:20. Now, I love this, that Allen has done this, because what we see with other Bible companies is Cambridge. They've got the pit minion, and they've got the wide margin. And then, of course, the Schuyler has a 3-tier Bible system with the Schuyler wide margin with 1-inch margins on the inner gutters, sides, and top and bottom. And then you've got the Schuyler thin line quintel, same pagination without the wide margins. And then you've got the Schuyler personal size quintel, which is a much smaller version of the quintel. And also a much smaller version than the wide margin. And so these Bibles are made to pair with one another. I would highly recommend, if you're in ministry or you're just looking for a good Bible and you're on the market, I would highly recommend checking out these Allens. If you get an ESV one or an NIV one, I would highly recommend getting the reader version of that same Bible. This Bible right here, you can take a lot more notes on versus this Bible. Well, guys, that's it. That is my review and first impressions on the Allen ESV New Classic Reader's Edition in black Highland Goatskin. I will drop a link in the description below to snag a copy for yourselves. They do go pretty quick, so I can't promise how long they'll be available, but I would encourage you to keep checking back. Well, please like and subscribe to this video for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.